Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to the One Bitcoin Show. Today is March the 11th, 2024. Strong hand, long-term thinking. Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. Be a unique beast. Be a confident decentralist. Be it for real. Because if you are, you know that Bitcoin always returns to its all-time high. And that we're just one day closer to that all-time high. How many times have I said those sayings and some of you thought it was BS? And guess what? It's true every single time, baby. And today's the day we celebrate the return to the all-time high. I did one of these shows back in 2020 and everybody loved it. It was late 2020 and it's going to be just like that level of energy. Me talking about that, yeah, if you have 14 Bitcoin right now, you are a fiat millionaire. We're at $72,000. Now, it hit 69 last week. I was waiting. I knew that we'd get a definite moment. And the moment was today. Okay, there's no doubt about it. This is the all-time high. This is the return to the all-time high, baby. And we're going to contrast this to what you were doing 4 years ago, what I was doing 4 years ago. Follow me on Twitter at TechBalt.sol. You'll see the tweets today were wild that I put out there that talked about the difference between now, and 4 years ago, how people acted then and how people act now. But guess what? Adam Meister acted the same way then. When there was blood in the streets, what did I do? I bought. I got more Bitcoin. I knew this day would come. And you know my conviction here. Every one of you knows it, baby. And you love this freaking energy when I'm bringing it like this. But you know it's from the freaking heart here, baby. All the shows I've done for years and years and years and years. It all leads up to a moment like this when we should be proud. The people who held on as long as we did, who didn't panic one little bit, baby. Pound that freaking like button. I'm going so crazy. I got pictures falling over here. We're going to talk about everything here. So this is going to be a while. This is going to be a memorable one. Retweet it all out there. I've got specific tweets that you should have already retweeted earlier today. Let's start at the very beginning. Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. You better believe it. Unbelievable that if you have 14 Bitcoin now, you're a millionaire. You know, Sean Lennon tweeted out something the other day. I retweeted it. He said, at this point, if you don't get Bitcoin, if you're questioning Bitcoin, you're basically a flat earther. Pound that like I couldn't have said it any better myself. I mean, these people are insane. Why do people still ask me 2016 questions in 2024? I mean, it's hilarious. It's hilarious. I guess some people are naive and stuff, but come on, I've gone through all this before. I mean, what more proof do you need now, people? What more proof do you need that it always returns to its all-time high? Now, I want to say one thing I was wrong about. I didn't think the all-time high would happen before the halving. This hasn't happened before. Hey, I'm happy to be wrong. I'm happy to be richer than ever, baby. All right? Whoa! As Ric Flair would freaking say, okay? Whoa! Some documentary coming out about him soon that The Rock is putting out there. Yeah, I obviously preferred Hogan. Anyway, back in the day, I mean, WWF to WCW, of course. Anyway, pound it! But yeah, I was wrong. I was only wrong about the time. But what I'm happy about, I'm happy to be wrong. I'm happy that all the normies, it's the normies that are pumping this stuff up right now. There's no other reason. People are like, oh, the price is coming up because the halving is on the way. No, have you lived through this before? The halving on the way doesn't make it hit its all-time high. It's a bunch of people who are used to the traditional financial system. They can't buy their ETF on the weekends, so they all pile in every Monday. It's been piling in, getting closer and closer to this all-time high. I mean, I am so freaking excited about this. That the normies, who I warned them for years and years and years, get in before Wells Fargo does. Literally, you could have all had 14. You people envious of the banks. Say it's the elite, the 1%ers. You hate, jealous fools. You did nothing. You could have gotten 14. You could have gotten 1. That's the name of the darn show. And they're still complaining. They're still haters. They're still making excuses. But yet there are some people that are now just buying it through the ETF. I really own Bitcoin through the... Great. Pretend you own Bitcoin through the ETF. You're making me richer because I really own it, okay? Okay? And you know I own more than 14, don't you? No, you don't think I do. You don't think, because I'm in a studio. I'm in a studio apartment in Salt Lake City. You know, where's Adam's Lamborghini? He must be... Yeah, I'm poor. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Right? All right. So just, okay, some people, they don't like facts. They don't listen to a word I say. They just look at the hair. And I didn't shave the mustache off today. Whatever. There's a lot of stuff going on beforehand, all right? So let's talk about exactly. Pound it! And I want to thank Nami Nam. He gave $25. We are almost ready to do another one Bitcoin show. I got to raise $100 for every one Bitcoin show I do. Sometimes I do these special ones like this. I mean, come on. I had to do this special one. Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin, all right? I have to do one when we hit the all-time high. When I saw we were going to hit the all-time, when we got to 69 last week, I'm like, I have to do one of these shows. But I really want to do it when it's in the 70s. Because who really knows what the all-time high really was, when, what, whatever. The last time around, too, was it really 19,600? Was it really 20,000? You're all laughing now. Yeah, so you know when it says $72,000, it's unbelievable. With 14 Bitcoin, you're a millionaire. You're a freaking millionaire now. I mean, this is unbelievable. So, so March the 11th, it's March. So we're celebrating on March the 11th. Now, March the 11th has many, many meanings to me. So let's go back to when I was a child, a youngster. And out of the blue, one day, my grandfather died on March the 11th. And it was very sad. It was very shocking. And I later learned that between March 11th and March 21st, through the years, I had many relatives who had died. Later, my other grandmother, not the one who recently died, but my father's mother, of blessed memory, all of them. They were great people. She died on March the 15th. Her father died on March the 15th. My great-grandmother died on March 21st. I had a great-uncle by March 12th, a great-great-grandfather March 12th. All the March, both sides of my family, whatever, both sides of my parents' family, people drop it dead between March 11th and 21st. So I could have been a scared little tree and stuff in 2020 when it came along. And by the way, once my grandmother, who only died recently, of blessed memory, my mom's mom, she was scheduled to have an operation between March 11th and 15th. I remember my mom was like, no, we can't do this. We can't do this. But I could have been, so in 2020, there were a lot of things going on. Remember, we were leading up to the halving. I was in Los Angeles, and all of a sudden the whole world starts panicking about some virus, okay? All right? Every day that passes from the start of March to the middle of March, it's getting crazier and crazier out there. A lot of you pretend like you don't remember. Maybe you don't remember because your memories are so horrible because you smoke so much weed or whatever the heck you're doing out there. I don't know what you're doing, okay? I remember it clearly. Although there's one thing I didn't exactly. I'm going to clarify one thing I didn't specifically remember, which was kind of glorious. So everyone's getting worried. Trump's getting worried. People are trying to politically gauge it. They're shutting down spring training. They're shutting down the NCAA tournament. All this stuff is going on, but Scott Adams is selling at $7,000, and now today it's for 10 times that. Pound that like button. But anyway, and so we had some days leading up to March 11th, 12th, and 13th, where it dropped from like 9,000 to 7,000, and people were publicly getting very worried. Stock market's going down, and then really it was March 11th, 12th, and 13th. Everything broke loose. There was blood in the streets. Bitcoin dropped to $3,900 at one point. Okay, all right. Now I could have been a little girl, and I could have been said, my grandfather of blessed memory, he died on this day. My grandmother of blessed memory, she died around now. I should be scared. Something's going on. The whole world's changing. We're entering a new normal. Oh my God! I gotta panic. I gotta be no. That's not what happened at all. You know what's happened. You know what happened. 4 years ago, I bought. One day with 6,000. The first day it dropped down to 6,000, and I was like, and I tweeted about it. It's linked to below. Go look at it if you need proof. All right. And then the next day was worse. I think it was the 12th or the 13th. It doesn't matter which day, what time zone you're in. Because it's different if you're in Europe or America. Everything starts shutting down outside. And I even made a video, which is linked to below, that I tweeted out, a 2-minute video that I'm so proud of, because I said I'm not a bootlicker and people are trying to panic And we're going to remember this moment. Now, of course, most people forget this moment because they're losers. They get too many drugs. They don't want to remember how shameful they acted then. And let me tell you something. You know I own a lot of Bitcoin. And you know you've heard me say this line many a time. Many a time. I've been buying since 2013. I paid $1,200 total, a little bit over $1,200 total for my first two in November of 2013. And there are no two Bitcoin that I am prouder of than what I did 4 years ago exactly today. I'm happier more about that 4 years ago exactly today. The whole world was panicking. And I had the strongest of hands. And I'm more happier about that than we just reached the all-time high today. Okay, and I'm happy that we reached the all-time high today. Obviously, I'm going crazy. I'm going wild. I'm going absolutely wild here. All right? But when I look back and I watch that video, I get pumped. It's only a 2-minute video. It is linked to below. I retweet it. Watch it right now. Stop watching this video and go watch that video right now for 2 minutes ago. Watch the entire thing. It's scripted, actually. I'm reading. It was so important to tell you, to reassure all of you that everything was going to be all right, that this thing was going to be pass, and that I wasn't a bootlicker, and that Bitcoin, if you believe that Bitcoin was the way out of that situation. But no, so many people who said they were Bitcoiners worship the government, did exactly what the government told them to do. They didn't buy more Bitcoin like I did when there was blood in the street. I spent $10,000 over 2 days, okay? And I got 2 Bitcoin. So let's do the math. Can you do the math? Or did you go to the education system in the United States? You can't do the math, okay? I'm going to make it real simple for you, okay? Because $10,000 I spent total, a little over. Now, it's worth over $144,000 right now, okay? Okay, those two, all right? Because I know there's a day after tomorrow. I saw my grandfather die. I didn't see him die in person. I knew he died on March the 11th. And I knew there's a day after this. I'm going to live my life. My mom's going to live her life. My family, we're all going to live our lives. People die. They go. Things change. There isn't a new normal. You don't rearrange everything. You know that things go back to the way they were. Everything changes a bit. But there's still the basic things. If you keep the basic beliefs, if you stick with what you believe in, if you're not whimsical and go crazy and can be changed by other people and try to fit in with people and worry and this and let things get you down. You have conviction. You have a plan, okay? If you really believe something, you don't change it because something sad and something sort of scary happens. So all you people who believe in the new normal, all right, you love that little, it's going to be a new normal though. Well, what's the new normal now? The new normal is for the people who are slaves out there, more so than they ever were beforehand, who worry more so, who are more poor, who deny Bitcoin more and more, who have to wait until they're ETFs in order to buy Bitcoin, okay? It's disgusting. They believe in the new normal. No, life is great, okay? Life was great before, life was great during. I lived my life. I didn't let them tell me. And for the people who believed in the new normal, you got to see firsthand what the Who said by meet the new boss, same as the old boss. Because Amazon and all those rich corporations that you hated so much, you did everything that they wanted you to do. You said shut down all the businesses, shut down all the mamas and pops. And guess what? Bezos and Elon and all the billionaires that you're jealous of, that you hate, are richer than ever. And you're poorer than ever. You're a disgrace that you bootlicked and you believed in that new normal. And that's what it got you. More envy, more hate of the people who actually do something with their lives and gave stuff to society and create. And I'm a creator and I want abundance. And do you want abundance or do you just want to hide in your freaking room like you did 4 years ago? All right? All right? So that was 4 years ago. So what are we going through now, baby? The rewards, the just rewards. Because you know what? And you watch those videos of mine from then. It's linked to below, okay? I knew that the weak federal government would be sending us checks no matter how rich we already were, okay? But obviously, if the Bitcoin price crashes down to $4,000, I'm not as rich as I was a week beforehand, okay? That didn't freak me out. I got more Bitcoin. And I forgot exactly what I was just going to say about this. No, God. But yeah, about being losing, what was I saying? About being rich and everything like that. And, oh my God, sometimes you lose it during these rants. I know it's not scripted like my thing, but no, it really did pay off, didn't it? It really was a glorious freaking payoff of, of just not panicking, sticking with what I believed in, buying it, and just being proud of it. And I am proud of it, baby. I'm so proud that I did the right thing. And I told all of you to do the darn right thing too. And I know a lot of you, it's hard to do or whatever you say. I mean, looking back on it now, look how silly all that stuff is. People are saying, I wish I watched your video back then. I mean, what were you doing? You were stuck in your house, weren't you? Maybe you were still going out like I was going out on the streets of Los Angeles every single day. I've made sure every single day of my life, since all that madness began, I go outside at least once. Of course. I think I did that anyway beforehand, but I make sure of it. Because you cannot forget that authoritarian moment, okay? That was a disgusting authoritarian moment. And hey, I bought more Bitcoin because I knew that it passes. With time, those things, it all passes. And we look back on it now, how silly it was, and just the new normal. The new normal. I mean, what did that get you, your new normal? What did you think was going to become of the world? I mean, it's unbelievable. All right, so let me see what else I have written down. Remember, people, if you got questions, type in Bitcoin. Here we do. I remember when you bought 2 Bitcoin that day. Yes, I was buying that day too. Thank you, 123 Notescope, and thank you for correcting your earlier tweet about me. Show us your underwear. I'm wearing these sweatpants, and to tell you the truth, I'm free balling under it because it's a long story. Anyway, so I can't show you my underwear because I don't want you to see my testicles because I'm just free balling. Anyway, let's go. But hey, I can do that, can I? You see, that's the thing. Fitting in is overrated. That's what so many people didn't get back then. When will you go? When will you no longer be offended by selling? I'm always offended by selling. That's the thing. But I have it set up so that I would run out of fiat at the 2024 halving, and it's playing out pretty well. I'll still have some money after that in the bank, but who knows? If someone send me $100 right now, that'll last me a long time. I'm pretty good with saving. Frank is in the house, baby. Frank Castelldini from San Francisco is in here, baby. Oh, it's great to see you, man. It's been a little while. All right, let me go back to what I was going to talk about here. So we thanked. We only need 14 Bitcoin. Oh, I'm going to be on World Crypto Network on the 22nd on Thomas's show, the Bitcoin Group, on Friday the 22nd. Excuse me. So everybody, mark your calendars. World Crypto Network. If you know what that is, hopefully you're rich. You should be. History will remember the non-bootlicking strong hands. I mean, I don't know. I said that in that video, and I remember. I knew who panicked then. Okay, and I know that when there was blood in the streets. I mean, I really, it was it's a maturation process. You got to live a certain amount of years to get a certain amount of wisdom. And you always can say, well, when there's blood in the streets, I'm going to be the one buying. And that was the moment of truth. And then there's, always the thing that people say, well, when there's a disaster, like when there was the Great Depression, a quarter of the people did very well during the Great Depression. And you always say, I'm going to be one of those people. But you don't know until you see it. You don't know the moment of truth until it comes. And that's a moment of wisdom. Are you going to talk the talk, or are you going to walk the freaking walk, baby, like I did? All right? I didn't sell a darn Bitcoin like Scott Adams did. I bought more Bitcoin, okay? And it's only 4 years, guys. It's so embarrassing and humiliating to the people. I mean, I don't know how you could be one of those people now, to say that you were one of those people who panicked, Who was the majority of, that was the majority of people then. People were virtue signaling all night. They all wanted this attention. They thought it was going to be so helpful for them. No long-term thinking, no planning, just impulsive spur of the moment, disaster embracing, disaster enhancing BS. It was BS. And now, I mean, most of the people who played that little game, they hope to God that people don't remember. And you know what? In a sense, they're losers anyway. They're not going to be remembered for a lot. They're not going to be remembered for it. What did they do that was very different? They just played around with the crowd. It's the unique. That's a moment. I mean, I can confidently say, that 4 years ago today, that there's no doubt in anyone's mind that Adam Meister is a unique beast, confident decentralist. After that, how could you even deny it? How can you not look up in the dictionary and see my freaking picture with my crazy hair there? And what an honor it is to my beloved grandfather, my beloved grandmother, who died, those, March 11th, March the 15th, back in the day. I mean, it's such a great way to remember them, too. Those days were very sad days. But just because it was sad one year doesn't mean it can't be freaking awesome eventually, even when the whole world is panicking around you. And now, today, in 2024, it all really hits you. It all really hits you how these are happy days. What a great time to be alive. And I said that in my Twitter video from that time too. The Twitter video, when everybody's panicking, I'm saying this is the golden age. Who else would say this is the golden age when, the president of the United States is like washing his hands a billion times and changing his mind, and everyone on TV is trying to make so ridiculous. Oh my God. Anyway, but yeah, what else do we have here? We talked about, don't be that guy who's still asking 2016 questions in 2024. You know that guy, baby. You know who that guy is. It's so many people on social media. I think they're just trollers at this point. As I said, you're basically a flat earther if you're like questioning Bitcoin. Well, how about if the power goes out? How about if the grid goes down? And, one thing I want to say is that, another famous line of mine is, there are going to be days when it goes up by 5,000 and down by 5,000. And it was February 29th was basically that day. I think it went up by $5,000. We had a huge candle. And that was all predictable too. I mean, it was just, you had to be patient. And so many people are not patient. I want to give one little warning out there and everything. We should be happy at $72,000. But there are scenarios, and I'm going to give you a scenario that involves some 2016 style FUD too, that would bring the price down considerably for a short period of time, just like in 2020. We can have at any moment, and I think you'll agree with me. Everyone will agree with me with this scenario. It's like a three-pronged scenario, and I don't think this is going to happen. I think a lot of it is crazy, but especially one of the things could happen. And if this happens, the price of Bitcoin will be cut in half probably. Temporarily. Again, long-term thinking. Remember what the plan is. It's a 4-year savings plan, guys. And it's the 210,000 block theory. That any day out there, 210,000 blocks before, it was worth less. 210,000 blocks later, it's worth more. That's 4 years. So you buy it today, you know that in 4 years it's going to be worth more. But let's say that tomorrow, in most of the continental United States, the internet suddenly goes down. That's never happened before. For the whole day, it goes down, and it slowly comes back up. And it's discovered that it was intentional by an outside force. That's bad. There will be massive selling. And people in Europe will be able to sell more than the United States. And as it slowly comes back on the United States, it'll just be a cascade of selling. Certain areas won't know what other areas, it'll be insane. That's when you buy, first of all. That's when you buy. Oh, and I remember one of the things I wanted to say that I had forgotten beforehand. We'll get back to that in a second. But I'll say it now. Cascading prices going down during a panic moment like that. From March 12th to 13th, it was cascading. Like I thought 6,000. That's a bargain. And then, I saw it hit 3,900 the next day, and boom, I got it like at 4,000 some. And that is what I had forgotten. I knew I paid 10,000 for two. I thought it was more like 5,000 and 5,000, but it was 6,000 and 4,000. I looked it up. But okay. But going back to the scenario that could freak people out, and I'm just bringing this up so you're prepared, but so that you contrast it with 2020 and you understand there's a day after tomorrow, and that there's 4 years after tomorrow, and you look silly 4 years later. Because the United States of America will recover from outside forces taking down the internet if that ever happened. Now, it could be coupled with the internet going down, and at the same time there being a October 7th style attack in the United States, where straight up animals, where straight up just barbarians start pillaging and destroying and horrible stuff. That could happen in the United States. There's enough crazy. I mean, we have 330 million people in this country. There's enough insane people that snuck in here. They can create a plan and whatever. They could do that. And it could be coupled with the internet going down. And that would be very bad. That would add to the situation. And that would make it would make the situation worse. But I'm saying then that second part happening is a little bit harder. And then there could be a third part. Where a third and fourth part, where the current president either has a heart attack and dies or resigns out of shame. And that would cause a problem also, combined with those two other things, because then we'd have a new vice president. The vice president would become president. But then the worst of all the scenarios, and this would be very hard to pull off, it would have to be more than just a ragtag of barbarians. It would have to be very much state-sponsored, like directly state-sponsored. Probably only one state out there could pull this off, China, is that if there was an internet attack followed by a physical attack, followed by the president passing away, followed by the assassination of the vice president. And that would create a situation where the Speaker of the House would become the President of the United States. And he is a Republican, and it would just create mass paranoia among so many people in America that it was an inside job. It would not, it would be bad. Now all those things coming together at once is difficult. And I don't want that to happen at all. Scenario number one, which is the internet going down for a whole day. Because one of the things that would come up if the internet went down for a whole day, even though Bitcoin would be fine in everywhere else, people would say, well, look, Bitcoin is based on the internet and it just went down. And I am an American and I own this internet-based thing through my ETF. I'm going to sell it now because clearly the internet went down, so Bitcoin could go down. They wouldn't understand that Bitcoin didn't go down. It would take like a week for people to understand, like, wait a second, this whole situation proves why Bitcoin's so freaking awesome. Because the greatest power in the history of the world, the whole internet went down, and it didn't affect Bitcoin. Every block kept coming out, everything, the miners kept mining, everything kept going fine. It's just that people panic sold. But it would take people a while to figure out that aspect of it. Again, it's the impulsive initial reaction of people just to panic and be scared. Don't be scared, people. Don't be scared. So, it is a lot of crazy things can happen this year. Politically, something weird is going to happen, obviously, politically, between now and November. And that could cause some Bitcoin turbulence also. Something that's kind of scary is that there could be a foreign power that is just waiting for the president of the United States to naturally pass away, and that they have been following the vice president of the United States this entire time, just waiting for the moment the president passes away, so that to take the vice president out, so that the Speaker of the House would become president, and that America would be very much divided because everyone has become so tribal with Republican versus Democrat that if Mike Johnson became president of the United States suddenly, there's some leftists that would, there's some that are really far left that would be like, yes, the Marxist revolution has begun. Let's just start hurting people. I mean, I don't know. I mean, all sorts of weird things could happen. That would obviously affect the price of the stock market would crash. I mean, it would just be like 2020, but just a little bit different. I mean, let's hope these things don't happen. But I'm just giving you scenarios out there. I'm not too worried. I'm not worried at all, actually, because I've already lived through it once. And you can go. The receipts are in the Twitter. They're in the links below. Watch it, okay? Watch it. And yeah, let me see if there's anything else I had to say here. No, let me just see if there are questions from you guys. My heart's beat. What's my pulse here? So yeah, I got the Phoenix Pro. I told you guys this has been great. It is a Garmin watch. It's the most expensive, athletic watch. I think it's like $650. It was. I got a deal on it, but I'm pretty cheap with everything. This thing is worth it. This is the best health thing I've ever been involved with in my life. So yeah, that cut down on my fiat a little bit there, but it doesn't matter. Do you think we will peak in 2024, 2025, 2025, 2025? Yeah. I'm sticking with that one. And what's your favorite meme coin? I don't, I do have something to say about meme coins. They are straight up pump and dumps. I mean, I told you about how I, met the Solana people who are just great people. These guys are gambling on meme coins. They know there's no basics behind it. They just think they can get in when the price is pumping and they can get out before it's dumping. There is the whole meme coin thing, I don't get, because I'm a logical person. I'm like, why do people want to participate in straight up pump and dumps? Like, that's all they are. Like, how much attention can you get your doggy coin so that a bunch of people buy it and pump it with hopes of having greater fools buy it so that they can then sell it before it crashes because it's worth nothing. They don't do anything. And I think people, I'm a confident decentralist, so I think people should be free to be idiots like this and do crazy things like that. But so no, I don't have a favorite meme coin. I think it's hilarious that the people, it's just straight pump and dumps. Thanks for Charlton said, thanks for anytime I see Charlton's name, I think of Norm Charlton of the Seattle Mariners and Cincinnati Reds. He's one of the wild things, right? The curly blonde hair. And thanks for everything you've done for Bitcoin Strong Hand. One day closer to an all-time high. Oh, wait. Yeah, exactly. We're 1 minute closer to an all-time high. And it's just, everyone should be excited and happy. And I'm just checking if there anymore. Okay, guys, we're going to do going once, twice sold. If there anybody who wants to do a super chat or type in Bitcoin Meister, I will answer your questions. But other than that, seriously, go to Twitter on TechBalt, TechBalt. We do have here. Well, oh yeah, I did want to say ETH here. This is a good question. Will ETH get ETF soon? And will it give Bitcoin a super boost? Well, this is the thing that confident decentralists should be happy about. Well, clearly we're not super early anymore, okay? We were super early before Saylor got in, okay? And by the way, Saylor, who some people worship, he didn't own Bitcoin 4 years ago when I made that video. But he did. September of that year, he got in. It was awesome, August and September. And that took us up a level. But now with this ETF, clearly it's not as early anymore because there's a lot of normies. Wells Fargo, all the banks are into it now and everything like that. But then once Ethereum has an ETF, that's a whole nother level. I mean, we were talking about a Bitcoin ETF since 2016 to even fathom that Ethereum would have an ETF. I mean, I remember when Ethereum wasn't sold on Coinbase. So I believe Ethereum, there's a pretty good shot that Ethereum is going to get a ETF in May. And that's part of the reason that Ethereum is pumping. Another reason that Ethereum pumping right now is because it's like 2 days, they're supposed to do a fork, which makes it cheaper to use. By the way, if it's not, it doesn't end up cheaper to use like they say it is, the price is going to go down. I mean, it has to be. It is ridiculous right now. I just retweeted something out, a guy's trying to do something with Ethereum, cost him $120. He could take his wife out to a fancy dinner, he says. Value your wealth in Bitcoin, Instead of using an Ethereum app or taking your wife out, you should have spent 120 on Bitcoin. Oh, I knew what I was going to say. I knew back in the day, thank God, I got a good memory, that we were all going to get checks from the government, no matter how rich we were. No matter how rich I already was, that's what I got. Now I remember what I was going to say when I got discombobulated earlier. And don't worry, I'll get back to Ethereum in a second. But yeah, back in 2020, when everybody was panicking, I didn't know we were going to get $3,000 checks. It was 3 checks that added up to 3,000, I believe, right? It was 2 from Trump, 1 from Biden. I didn't know how long it was. I knew we were going to get checks. I knew we were going to get stimulus checks because George Bush did that like in 2008. So I knew when I was buying 2 Bitcoin for $10,000, I knew I spent my check. And I haven't said this for a while, but I used to say this, and I should say it more. I spent my checks from the government before they were sent out because I didn't know how much it was going to be. But I said, so you can say, if you want, that 30% of those 2 Bitcoin are because of the United States government because they gave me money. Well, and then most of you people out there who got your $3,000, what did you spend it on? On rims for your tires, on stupid things. Because a lot of you still weren't traveling yet. I was traveling. I was $99 to take a flight from Los Angeles to Baltimore. Okay, that's what I was doing and stuff. But most of you were like, no, can't get on the plane, can't get on this. And blah, 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 blah. I was living my freaking life, man. It was awesome. But no, so if you and this angered some people because some people are so statist. They're like, you weren't supposed to do that with that. That's not what you're supposed to do with your stimulus check. You weren't supposed to buy Bitcoin with it. No. If the government wants to make me richer, they made me a heck of a lot richer, didn't they? Right? So it's worth $140,000 now. So what's 30% of $140,000? Well, that's it. That's $42,000. That's $42,000 right there. So they basically because I was a long-term thinker, the government gave me $42,000 free dollars in Bitcoin. That's what they did. That's what smart people do. It's awesome. It's freaking awesome. All right, and so yeah, let's go back to and I'm proud of it's great. It's just awesome. That's how the rich get richer, man. I'm not on my way to being a trillionaire like Elon is, or like the OpenAI guy is. I guess it's going to be Sam Altman or Elon's going to be the first trillionaire, right? And I hope it's Sam Altman because that means artificial intelligence will have become so valuable that maybe it will have cured some of our diseases and just made life better and just awesome stuff. But okay, going back to the Ethereum, that's an Ethereum ETF will help. Any good news with Ethereum, people don't realize it helps Bitcoin. It helps. It gets more people into cryptocurrency. But so I know one thing, okay? There's a certain contingent of Bitcoin, what do you call them? The Inquisitionists who just, I think they're lying to themselves. They're like, there's never going to be an Ethereum ETF. Dude, there's going to be one eventually. Maybe it won't happen this year. I don't care. It's going to happen eventually. There are obviously complicated things because they're staking. You can stake with Ethereum and everything, and maybe the SEC is going to have a problem with making that one into an ETF. But all the other ones have weird things about them also. It's the next in line. It's what all the people who pretend to be smart say that they also own. People put too much emotion into this. And here's another thing, and maybe I'll say this in another video eventually because this is the end. I don't know how many people are watched to the end. We do have a lot of people watching right now, so pound that like button. But there's this straw man argument that Yaron Brook, and he had a guest on his show the other day who's a smart guy. I forgot what the guy's name was, but someone in the audience. This is before I think we even got to $50,000. Someone was saying, Bitcoin's doing great. What do you think about Bitcoin? And the guy's a smart philosopher. He's like, I don't think much of it. Blah, blah, blah. He's like, it's not anonymous. That's what this is what this guy tries to to say, to show that he was right all along for you not, because these guys have known of Yaron Bro, and then Yaron says, yeah, it's not anonymous. He's brought it up too before. All these people who are smart guys who say they know about money and who know they had chances to buy it really early on, they love this straw man argument. Like, it's not anonymous. Who the heck's saying it's anonymous, you fool? That's the thing. There's no excuse why you shouldn't have bought it. That's not why I bought it. That's not why anybody bought it. That's not part of its value proposition at all. It's a straw man argument. It's the very definition of a straw man argument. You're saying that's not what I'm arguing. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what when the Bitcoin people say, like, what do you think about Bitcoin being $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 value? I mean, what do you think about how you said all this time, I'm not sure about it, blah, 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 blah. They're not saying, oh, it's anonymous, you should have bought it. No, that's not what they're saying. But what so many people do this, they'll just say, well, it's not anonymous. And they'll just start ranting about how it's not good for being. We know that already. That doesn't add to its value because it's not part of it. It isn't anonymous. So I'll probably mention that in another show. But I mean, some of you still getting these, run into people like this. That is just so typical of this, like, smart people. Smart people, they're not perfect. It's a smart person excuse. Or a mid-wit excuse, even maybe. I don't know. It's a total straw man argument. Nobody in their right mind who bought it for that. That's why it wasn't why they bought it. All right, that's it, guys. Pound that like button. I'm Adam Meister, Bitcoin Meister, Disrupt Meister. Be happy. It's a great day. All-time high. We're another day closer to an all-time high. We're going to have downs. We're going to have ups. We're going to have whatever. But yeah, man. And before you start, pleasuring yourself about, we're going to hit $1 million at the end of this year. No, we're not. Let's just get to the 6-digit realm first. And remember that when Charlie Lee was last on my show, which was it was in November or December of 2020, when Bitcoin had just, surpassed $20,000 for the first time ever. When we had returned to it, he said, Adam, I'll come on your show again when we get another, when we get to 6-digit round. I think that's what he said. Say, 6-digit round. I don't think he didn't say when we get to, no. When we get to 6-digit round, I think he said. I hope he didn't say all-time high, because now I'm going to have to go get Charlie Lee on my show again. No, I think we'll say it was 6-digit round. So my point in mentioning the 6-digit round is that let's get there first before we start talking about the $1 million Bitcoin. One step at a time, guys. Pound that like button, everybody. Thanks a lot. See you later.